Hi guys, it's Belle here and I am coming on with the start of a little mini challenge that is being hosted by the wonderful Priscilla over at Release the Crafting. I will leave the links to their channel down below. Now, they love doing mini challenges. I was able to do one or two last year, but I wasn't able to join in with too many of them because of other commitments. But I knew I wanted to do this one. What a brilliant way to start off January with a little bit of a vampire theme. If you're new here, hello, welcome. Or if you've only recently found me during Junk Journal January, what you may not know is my favorite theme is Gothic. I'm a bit creepy. Normally Victorian Gothic is my jam. So yes, a little bit different to Junk Journal January and a few other challenges you might have seen me do. But as soon as Priscilla said, I'm doing a vampire mini challenge, it's called Fanguary, I was like, I'm in. Oh, what a brilliant way to start 2025. So I will leave the link down below because you can print out the prompt list. It's brighter than this, but I have printed mine on this kind of mottled pinkish red paper that I had dyed because it literally looks like blood splatters and things. So going with the theme. And I really don't know how this is going to go because it takes me a while sometimes to get into when I've been working in one style, when I cross over into another. And whilst Gothic is my thing, it may take me a while to get back into the making. So our first prompt, and if I didn't say, go over and check out their announcement video. They'll tell you all about it, and use the hashtag RTCFanguary so that Priscilla can see what everyone's doing. And if you watch their video, they'll tell you all the ins and outs of the challenge. But vampire is the first one. Yes, I'll be making weird noises the whole way through. Voices I will be pretending to be from a movie version of Transylvania. Because it's vampires. It's what I do. Those of you who've been with me a while will be like, yep, that sounds like Belle. So I've just cut out some black card. What I've also done is I'm going to be using lots of scraps, guys, for the whole of this challenge. I have an abundance of Gothic papers, digitals, scrapbook, all that kind of thing. I don't want to be printing out anything new for it. I also have a lot of Release the Crafting, so I will be able to tell you if something's a Release the Crafting or not. I may not be able to tell you the name of the kit because I was in their design team from the moment they started one till the moment they decided they weren't going to run a design team anymore. So I have a lot of their bits, but I will also be using other scraps. So I won't be able to tell you everything, and I apologize for that, but I want to use my scraps, guys, and I don't want to print out anything new because I have so much that I need to use up. So this tag is 4x7. And this background piece, we're just going for a simple tag. Simple tag. Let's start nice and gentle and ease myself back into the theme. This is a Release the Crafting digital. Thought it was brilliant. Looks like an archway. Has that kind of Gothic vibe to it. Apologize. No, it's me. And this is just going to be on my background. It's going to be my background to my tag. This is what I'm going to do. Nice and simple. Do I want the textured bit on the back? I think I do. I'm going to have the textured because this is textured card. So I want this on the back. So excited. I was so disappointed that there were too many of their challenges last year that I just was unable to take part in for one reason and another. I took part in their Goblin one. I will leave what I created for their Goblin one down in the description box because I was so proud of myself for that make. I made one thing for all of the prompts and I'd never made anything like it before, and I will be making another one at some point this year because I loved it so much and I wanted to make a Halloween one and a Christmas one, and again I just did not have the time to do it, especially the Christmas one. but it's definitely a project on my to-do list this year. So I will leave that down below because I made an altered book. How would you describe it? It's an altered book, but it's not a journal. It's like a decorative piece. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. Even if you're like, Goblin core, what is that? Just go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It lights up. It's got all sorts of fun little bits and pieces on it. So yeah, if you're interested, check that out. I don't think this will fit in here. How annoying. What? Let me get my large paper trimmer. Things are falling over. Seems about right. Let me just trim the edges of this off. So yes, I'm going to be using up my scraps. I know Priscilla has lots of fun gothic and a vampire kit actually, because I've got bits of their vampire kit in my scrap box on their channel, but also just pull out some papers, guys, and obviously we're going to be swapping out the walnut stain that I kind of live in eternally with my projects. We're going to be swapping that out for black soot because, well, we just have to. And I do want a simple tag. I can get quite over the kind of top by adding all sorts of flip tricks and everything else to my tags, but to ease me into the challenge, it's only 7 days. I need to ease in quickly, otherwise the challenge is going to be over. So I get used to going gothic again. Oh, I just love it. Give me gothic, Victorian, traditional monsters and creatures. That's my jam. Do do do. Yes, it is. Love it. Okay. So we've got our tag. Now, what I want to do is I want to bring in, I had the scrap. Where is the scrap? Here. So I don't know what this is from. I don't know if it's a Release the Crafting one or not. We're going to bring this in as a sort of flap on the front. That's what we're going to do. I also have to work out how I'm going to attach it. It might just be on paper. We'll see. And I already love the fact that this is red and it's roses, but I also love the fact that it's already kind of torn at a weird angle. Love that. So I am going to glue that onto some scrap black card that I have. I was just thinking just putting it on paper, but we're going to go for the black card, and that's that. And yeah, I'm just going to glue it down onto here. Where is my glue book? So as I said, go over and check out Release the Crafting's announcement video that I'll leave linked down below if you are even slightly interested. They do a lot of mini challenges, or they started doing a lot of mini challenges last year, and there were some really, really fun ones. And obviously, if it says vampire in it, I'm probably going to be going, okay, let's forget the fact that I'm doing a gazillion challenges in January. Put all that aside, get out my lovely gothic scraps, and let's get crafting, because 'tis vampires. Yeah. I'd already said to them that I love the name of the challenge, Fanguary. Oh, that just what needs to be what January's renamed as now. Okay, this is at 4, isn't it? So let's just cut this. Don't think that's straight. This is straight. Is that 4? Is that 2? Oh my goodness. Okay, right, well, let's not worry that I've done it too short, shall we? Let's not worry. And I want to rip along it so that it looks, yeah, really torn and stuff. I will keep that little bit. Is this bigger than 4 then? I definitely think I cut it at 4. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I cut it at 3. Well, it's all right. It's fine. It'll work. It'll work the same. I can always add a bit to the edge. It doesn't matter, does it? Let's get that black soot on there. Oh, do you know what I didn't put on beforehand? I had some paper because I want this to be, oh my gosh, everything is falling. I want this to be a flip out, and that's why I'm wondering now what would have been best is if I'd done it on there. I think I'm going to have to use fabric as my flip. I think that, right, hold on. Honestly, you can tell it's vampire related. Everything's flying all over the place. Behave yourselves. I need to put this on here. So I'm just going to kind of tear where this should be, roughly. And then along here, I think we'll just do that. Yeah, real precision crafting here. 'Tis all good. Let's just glue that onto there. And then I'll have to rip it again and go around it. It's all good. It's all good. So yes, Gothic Victorian is my jam. Next to that would be grungy nature. But funny enough, when I'm doing arty kind of challenges like Junk Journal January and that, I really like to just play with different styles, techniques and colours, because I do just get bored if it's the same thing. And honestly, as much as I love Victorian Gothic, I could not be doing Gothic every day for every make. Same with if it was nature or steampunk or even grunge, although everything in mine is obviously a little bit grungy because I don't like things to be too clean, and white's a colour that I try to avoid wherever possible. So yeah, it's just me. It's just how I craft. I know some people just love a particular style and kind of stick to that style for the majority. And again, you have to do what feels right to you in your little craft heart. So don't let anyone kind of say to you, oh, well, you should be doing this, or the way you're doing that is not the way I envision it. It's like, well, we're all our own crafty peeps. So, okay, I want that coming up a little bit. I am wondering, I've got some of this embossed rose, whether I want that along, almost along the bottom. How many times have I ripped things along this bottom and then gone, I think I might want to add something else there. Yeah, okay, Belle. Like, maybe think about that before you start ripping things. Obviously, I can't, so that's okay. Right, I want to bring on my favourite, my little vintage gold alchemy that is really, really needing a little bit of TLC, and I just want to go over the top of these roses a little bit, just buff that on with my finger just to bring them out a little bit. Do, 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 do. Again, nice simple tag to just start us off on this January challenge. Yes, I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm sorry if it starts to irritate you, but I can't help myself. If it's going to be mad regular, I'm going to be making voices, all right? It's just what I do. I'm actually really hoping to go back to Whitby again this year. I'm trying to plan that at the moment. So that will be exciting. And if you don't already know, Whitby was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's, like the Abbey at Whitby, and that was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Maybe I'll have it like that so it is straighter here. Or do I like it ripped? Do you know, now I'm looking at it, I kind of like it flat. I don't think that's completely straight. Let's come in again. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Okay. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, obviously, the prompt is the vampire. Now, I was thinking, do I go down the traditional route and do like Count Dracula and all that malarkey? And I thought, no, let's do something a little bit different. We have a lady. And I'm thinking of Carmilla, which was written in 1872, again by another Irish person, because Bram Stoker was Irish, and Sheridan Le Fanu was an Irish writer. I mean, I don't know what it says about us. We really like vampires. But Carmilla was written before Bram Stoker's Dracula. Where is my black? There it is. And it is a lady vampire. I have a beautiful edition of this book that is beautiful red and black. Oh, they changed the cover and I was just like, that's not happening. I want the original cover. Thank you very much. Do not go messing with the cover that I love. I'm thinking of bringing in. This is from a journal I made last year and I have a scrap of it left that I love. And I was thinking of bringing that in. Might look better behind her. Maybe just a teensy-tiny scrap of it there. Let's do that. Yes, so I thought let me do... and if you don't know, this is actually a stamp that's embossed with red embossing powder on a vintage Latin book page. You know, really go for that thing. But yes, Carmilla was written before Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was very controversial at the time, actually, because of it being a lady vampire and the victim, her victim, the person she was interested in, was also a lady. It was very controversial at the time. And it's a very small book. Do you know what? I loved it when I read it. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was the way the writing is. I know some people sort of have issues with maybe how Sheridan was reflecting some certain themes, but I really loved it when I read it, and I'm glad I was able to track down the copy of it that I wanted, the cover, because, yeah, I love that cover. So we have our, let's just say Carmilla. I mean, she looks like, look at that outfit. That is an outfit. It needs more lace, I feel like. It does need more lace. But, you know, we'll go with it, and we'll let her just... Talking about lace, I've just seen some and I'm wondering about bringing some of that into. I just feel like maybe she needs some lace somewhere. Yeah, so I was able to track down my favourite cover of the book. I don't like any of that. Maybe that's what we use as our hinge. Okay, I can work with that. We can work with that theory. Let's glue on our lovely vampira. Now, the back is very white. I can't be having that. I mean, come on. That's not acceptable. In fact, I actually have the Tim Holtz stencil THMS184. Let's stencil some bats on her. We're going to be using this stencil anyway. So let's come on and put some bats onto the back because, you know, vampires turned into bats. Is that a bit too stereotypical? Yes, maybe, but it's happening. And then let's glue our beautiful vampire lady down onto this cover. Yeah, it's going to take me a while. If you guys watched my Creep on June, right, this is much simpler than a lot of the tags I was making for Creep on June. But again, sometimes you just gotta ease yourself in. I'm wondering, I do have some little spiderweb stamps, and whether I put some of these in the background. I don't want to cover up too much of the roses. I think that's my problem. Okay, and what I now need to do, and I need to do this first. She's a vampire. She turns into a vampire bat. So I have some acetate wings. They're Tim Holtz. But here's the thing, guys. We're not attaching them to her. But we kind of are, but we're not. We're putting them behind her. Like so. So she has her bat wings. But when this opens, she'll have changed into a bat. Get it? So she has her bat wings. But then it'll open and she's a bat. And she's disappeared. Woohoo! It makes me smile, and that's what matters. I have this, it must be a Release the Crafting word. I had a few different ones. I had one that says beware, but it's in orange. I don't want that. I had a little tag as well. Could tuck a tag in possibly. Let's come back to that. But I have this, it says be afraid. Be very afraid. I feel like it's a Release the Crafting one again, but I don't know. So if it isn't, it isn't. But again, it's in my stash. I do not want to print out anything new. The only thing that I printed out new for this challenge was the prompt list. That was it. I want to use what I have. I've spoke about it in my goal video for 2025. And I have so much of these bits that I just want to use them as much as possible. What I might do, I mean, the orange isn't really in keeping with the theme, but we're just going to attach this a little bit here because I want to see where these things can be placed. That is definitely going to go up there. Be afraid, be very afraid. And obviously when we open it, we've got all this down here. Do I add more paper down there? Is that what I do? This is Tim Holtz paper. I know that much. Oh, gotta do this. Gotta do this. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Can't have a straight line. I just cannot have a straight line. Be afraid, be very afraid. As Carmilla is creeping to your window. Should bring in a little bit more of the red actually. So yes, I'm trying to plan to go back to Whitby this year. I went not last year but the year before and loved it. So I'm just trying to arrange another visit to Whitby. I mean, we did the Abbey and everything last time. Do you know what? I don't know if I like it. Not the Abbey. I like the Abbey. I don't think I like that. Kind of do love the kind of splatter. Let me have a look. But it's on the same side. I think that's bothering me that it's on the same side. So let me grab... I was going to grab some lace and stuff, but to be honest, we're going to add a tab. So let's add some cheesecloth. Cheesecloth. It fixes a lot of issues. Got this lovely grungy... I think I might have dyed this one myself. It's a grunge, yumminess. Yeah. The vampire. I had so many options of what I could have used. Yep. That's it. That needed to be on there. And then I just thought, let's just do this. Love it. I think I would like some back on there too, but I think this works well. And what I need to do now is I'm going to stitch around this, because I definitely feel like it needs to be stitched around. And I'm going to use that lace, this lace, as the, what's it called? The hinge on this here. So I'm going to go stitch those, come back, and then we'll carry on. Okay, there we go. Isn't it amazing how much stitching just adds to a project? I mean, we've stitched all around. We have the stitching on the back. I will be adding something on the back to that. And we have straight stitching around this, which now has to go on, but her wings need to be above. Now, I was going to add more bats on here, maybe coming out this way, but I don't know now. I don't know if that's, unless we had that down there and we had the bats. No, it needs to go up there. Just needs to go up there. So let's do that. It's going to take a while to stick down with all these levels and that. So as I was saying, if you haven't read Carmilla before, but are interested in like vampire lore or stories, I really recommend it. Yeah, so check that out. Again, I will leave a link to one down below. I also have this little bit. Now this is a Release the Crafting, and it does say come in for a bite, which kind of makes me smile. You know, it's my sense of humour. I'm wondering about adding, I've got little vampire teeth. Maybe we could add those somewhere. Maybe on the inside. I feel like it's very, not a lot happening here. So unless I do add another like little bit that can be written on, because I just feel like there's not a lot happening. And I don't know if I want too much happening. We could add another little bit of writing space. If you know me, you know I love to add writing space to my pieces. I love writing in my journals, so I just like to be able to add writing space to ephemera where possible. It just makes sense to me. There'll be lots of little jokes in this series. You know, I can't help it. I like that. I did really want more bats on here. I've got the stencil, and I wonder if I could do it so that the bats are on here but going off there, but then we've still got the problem that there's not a lot here. So unless I just do them on here, we could still add this and add the bats, but I don't know if that's too much, because I just feel like there has to be more bats on here, you know, Dracula and all that. Before I actually add the bats, let's add the paper onto the back, because once I put the texture paste on, it needs to dry, and that's the whole thing. So let's do it at 3.5-ish. I know it's about 7, but we'll do it a bit smaller. That's 6. Let's have a look. You can see I'm really being, in fact that needs to be smaller. Let's tear it down. Let's add a bit of tearing on here. Yeah, it's probably not my most exciting work that I've ever done. But again, where's my little scissors gone? Ah, over by my sewing machine. I should know that every time I am stitching, I normally have my scissors over there, my little ones. I've said before, I need to really get some scissors that I have just for my sewing machine. Yeah, I really didn't need another challenge when I've got Junk Journal January and 3 year-long challenges, 2 of which are weekly, alongside a few other things. But could I pass it up when I saw it? No. No, I couldn't. So, yes. Just got to do it. I mean, I should have thought about really doing another altered book, shouldn't I? That would have been fun, doing a vampire themed altered book. Now I kind of want to make one. Or, I mean, it is an ephemera challenge, but I remember last year when we were doing the Goblin one, I did ask Priscilla if it was all right if I did something completely different. And they were fine with it. So I could have done that. Or even, ooh, I've just had another thought, which I may do aside from this. No, Belle, you don't have time to add more things. Oh, I really do. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get, hold on. I'm telling you, vampires, everything's flying away. Let's get my little Tim Holtz ephemera folder here. We do have beware, beware, beware. Got some bugs and bats and things. Where's my bats? I know I've got these bats in here, but I don't think I've got any die cut ones. Let's have a look. These are my little pieces. So let's have a look and see if I've got some little pieces that would fit in here. So just little bits and bobs. I like. Got a little hand here. Be afraid. Nope, I don't like that on there. I was just wondering about like little anything that's red. I don't know if any of the Tim Holtz pieces will go. Normally they'd be my go-to for everything, they really would. But I don't know if in this instance that they work. Got all the words. Got to be afraid, curious. I do like the smaller ones, so let's have a look. Do we have beware in smaller? Bewitch. Where's all the smaller ones gone to? Shake well before use. No, that just makes me giggle. Can you imagine? Children, before you go out, make sure when you pick a human, I don't know what the accent this is. It's kind of a weird Scottish mix thing. Make sure you shake well before use. I just don't know. No. Right, okay. Nothing's kind of speaking to me. And in those instances, you've just got to leave it. But I do want to bring in some bats. So I've got the black texture paste. Watch me struggle to open it now. Where's my spatula? Oh, lovely. Lovely jubbly. Okay, let's bring in some bats. I've got to beware of her bat wings. Got to make sure not to get any bats on her bat wings. I just loved the idea. When I was thinking about this, I thought, how can I do it in a way where you literally see her turn into a bat? And there may have been a better way to do it, but this is my way of doing it. Where you see her with her bat wings. Let's get that closed up. But then when we move her away from the front, then so we have the bats on there. Now what I want to do is, when that closes, you'll just see some of them, which is brilliant. But the other thing I want to do is I am going to add some black glitter embossing powder. I was wondering about red. Should we bring in another pot of red? Or should we add red splatters? Red bats, red splatters. Red bats, red splatters. What do we think? Black. Okay. And this is going to have to dry on here. So yeah, this is my way of making her turn into a bat. She's got that on her wing. Let me bring in my brush because I don't want it on the wing at all. We've got to let these dry. I better sparkle. So I need that to dry, and then once it's dried, I'm going to be able to emboss it. But just while we're waiting, I was wondering about come in for a bite just over here. If you know me, you know that I like to add interest. We have got the rub-ons as well. Interest to the inside of tags and things. Do you know, I can't find these anymore, so I don't know if Tim Holtz has stopped doing them, which would make me extremely sad. But there we go. Or whatever company makes them, if they've stopped doing them. Because I love these Halloween rub-ons. And if they have stopped doing them, I'm going to not want to use them. Which would be very sad. Because I love them for these kind of projects. So yeah. Put that on here. And look at this! I actually have a rub-on stick. Who am I? Who am I? Dracula was my first kind of major monster kind of that I fangirled about. Fangirled, but you know, got to make the pun. Even from the age of like 7, I was reading books like The Last Vampire. He was a vegetarian in it. It was so sweet. It was the first time I'd heard of vegetarian, which then I became not many years later, and still am to this day. But yeah, he was the last vampire, and he was a vegetarian, and a little girl was on holiday with her family, and she bumped into him, and you know, all that kind of thing. And yeah, that was like from the age of 7. I loved anything to do with like vampires and things. And then as I got a bit older, I'm looking at other stencils. As I got a bit older, it was got a different bat stencil. Oh, we've got those I haven't used yet. Have a look. As I was saying, as I got a bit older, I really got into Dracula more. Not Dracula, we're talking about Dracula. Frankenstein's monster. And I have such a soft spot in my heart for that book. And this stencil is by Echo Park. It's Bewitched, and it's called Creepy Bat Stencil BE166034. Yeah, I've got such a little soft place in my heart for Frankenstein's monster. But I love all the classics, you know, Wolfman and The Invisible Man and all that lot. My least favourite, if I'm going to be honest, is The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, both the movie and the creature itself is my least favourite. But yeah, I'm just a classic movies gal. Okay, I am going to, we could put beware down here. Beware. No, I am going to leave these to dry and then we'll come back and finish it. Okay, so the bats are embossed. Please be aware if you're using acrylic, anything acetate acrylic, and you're trying to heat gun, obviously be aware of that. I should have thought about that. But actually, I ended up liking the fact that I ended up deliberately bringing it into the wings and making them stand out. Do you see that? So now her wings kind of curl around her. I kind of love that. I actually do kind of love it. And I was thinking of adding a tab on here, which we could do with the red and black. We could have it mixed. Let's see if I like it or not. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I just want the one side. Because I feel like now that the wings are a bit buckly, I need this to lie flatter. And I was thinking if we bring in a tab, we could even do it that way. So we've got it both sides. We could then also use a paper clip or a brad, an eyelet. We could use an eyelet and put some lace around it or something. Let's have a look what we like. I think all my red ones have been used. No surprise there, really. Oh, I see one final red one. Well, we need that. I need to order some more red eyelets because all my red and black get used up very, very, very quickly normally. Like so. And that is going to attach underneath. Like so. Oh, and we haven't. Where is my ink pad? We need the ink pad. Then we're going to decorate the back a little bit. And then I think, other than some splatters, I think we'll be done. As I said, it's quite a simple tag, realistically. Well, for me, it's quite a simple tag. Again, you'll know if you've watched Creep on June. Got to bring in a bit of gold around it, though. And I've decided I'm going to add gold splatters. One, I already have them out for another project I was working on. And I think because I used the gold on the roses. Oh, get back in there. Don't escape me. Do you know what? No, we're going to add gold splatters, so it's fine. So I think on the back here, what I want to do is, I do want, I think, this beautiful embossed vampire fangs. This is from a stamp that I have. And I feel like we definitely need some of this for Carmilla. We just need it, don't we? Yes, we do. There's a vampire. She needs her fangs. Where is that little scrap? Sorry, I'm looking for this because I want to kind of bring this in. If we've got the other scrap on the front. Again, I like to decorate normally front and back of my tags. And I just feel like we need her fangs. Which way are they? This way? They could go under there. We could have a little bit of black there. Yep, and let's glue this down. And then I think this is where I'm going to put come in for a bite or something. If I can find it again. Because that just tickles me. Come in for a bite. No, thank you. That's okay. I'll be on my way. Yeah. I still feel like the front is too... Where was that little one that said come in for a bite? Can I find it? Hold on. Found it. Honestly, it's going to be one of those situations where, firstly, my crafting area is too small and I'm trying to do a gazillion things at once. And secondly, it's going to be one of those projects, I can feel it in my bones, where certain projects, they just like to be a bit mischievous. It makes sense for this one to be a little bit naughty, but still, behave. Come in for a bite. And we got to stencil a little bit on the back of here. We got to bring those bats round. I'll use the other stencil because my other one right now is, what's the word? It's soaking because I've used the texture paste on it. Get your words out now. We've got to have some bats. These bats are upside down and all around and all sorts of shapes and things. It's very interesting. But yeah, so come in for a bite. We have her on the front. Need some lace. I don't know if I have a piece of red that's going to go all the way round the tag. I do have some red. I have plenty of red sari silk, but whether or not I have a piece right next to me that is long enough, I don't think I do, so I'm going to have to check for that. Yeah, let's grab a piece of red sari silk. Actually, I immediately found a piece of red ribbon. It's far too bright. I'm going to go on here with a bit of my black soot, just because, you know, it's far too bright. And I feel like she needs a dangle hanging from her. That's what I feel like she needs because of it, but I don't know if I have one. I'll have to check in a minute. This needs to go all the way around and possibly end up in a bow here a little bit. And before I tie that, what I need to do is, I know there's a way I can tie that and do things. What I need to do is I need to add some gold splatters. That's what I need to do. I might also add black, but I think gold's enough because there's plenty of black already on here. Oh dear me. This is meant to be a simple, quick tag, and it's taken me far too long. Between one disaster and another. Not just with this one. There was a project before it that was that I was filming that was playing up as well. So yeah, it's one of those days today. You know why? It's always when you have a really busy day and lots happening that suddenly everything just goes, do you know what? We're just going to challenge you now. Come on with some simple gold. And on her bat wings. Gotta have it on the wings. Gotta have some simple gold. And we do actually need it on her, which will be a little interesting because obviously that's already got it on there. But we do need it on her too, and down here. Like so. Yeah, I just really like that. I like the gold of it. Adds a bit of something to it. So I'm going to quickly dry this, not around the wings, but everything else. Okay, so it's basically dry now. So I am going to, once again, wrap this around. And we still need to put a tab on the top because, well, I need some fabric on the top as well. Can't do Gothic without a lot of fabric. Me. Like I can't. It's not everyone's jam, but it is mine. So, yes. I may end up swapping this ribbon out, but for now, this is what I had nearby. So this is what I'm using. So we have our little ribbon, which still just seems too bright. Let's get a bit of black soot on here in places. And that kind of helps because I felt like the front was very, very plain. Now let's bring in some black fabric. I know I had another piece, like a flat piece. I am here, guys. I just can't find the flat piece that I had. Okay, it doesn't want to be found, so we just have to respect it for now until I track it down after this video. It will get used whether it wants to or not. I just want a tab, I think, on here at the top. Although now I'm looking at it, does it need that or does it need a touch of red? I love this fabric because it's like a felt kind of fabric, but it really frays, and when you're making something like this, it kind of fits the overall vibe of it. Now that's a different red to that, so now I'm not liking it. Nothing is going right today. Nothing is going right. We will figure this out. We will just keep going until we figure it out. I want a tab. So a tab. I was going to say a tab we shall have. But if it doesn't want to have a tab, maybe it just doesn't suit it. I don't know, but I want one. We have a little bit of red. Again, it's a slightly different colour. It's darker than the red down there, but I prefer it to the red that we have. Oh, we have some of this black stripe. This is what I need on here. Okay, I am going to go stitch this around here. And then we'll come back to that. Okay, so I stitched that on and I added some random threads that I had as well. And then there was one of these necklaces. It's like a blood drip necklace. In the sales, in the January sales, they had all these Halloween pieces of jewellery, like costume jewellery on sale. And I picked a few of these up because they were so cheap. And I think I'm going to add it here. Because, you know, a little bit of a blood drip kind of gives off the vibe of the vampire. I did wonder about adding it in other places, but it just seemed too much. So, here we are, guys. Here is our vampire. Why is nothing straight? Here is our vampire tag. He is the vampire for the prompt. We've got some red on here. It opens up. We can open this inside. Suddenly, our vampire has turned into a bat. That is not the sound bats make, but we'll go with it. We've got more bats on here because there's never just going to be one bat where the vampire is. I love the bending of the wings now, actually. And then on the back, we've got all the writing space as well. So, I think, I mean, do we like the drops there? I've added them now, so they're staying. I think that is it. Finally, honestly, it's been a day where filming has been chaotic, but I like to be authentic with you guys so you can see the mistakes as well as the other things. So again, this is for the Release the Crafting challenge, Fanuary. It starts obviously today. It's got 7 prompts, so it runs for a week, so till the start of February. Again, I will leave the link to their introduction video down below. Do not forget to use the hashtag RTC Fanuary, and yes, hopefully my other makes will not be as challenging as this one turned out to be for such a simple tag. But I ended up liking it, although this is too red. I will, I think, end up making it a bit grungier. And a bit of bling on there. bit different for me. So anyway, that's it for today, guys. Please do like, subscribe, share and comment. Please do check out Priscilla's channel and the challenge in general, and use the hashtag to see what everyone else is doing. And I will be back again soon with another video, which will hopefully go more to plan than this little one did. And until then, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of creepy creative fun. Bye for now.